Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Ray. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the game of life. We're here to explore our power as co-creators of reality, of worlds. Understand what that is, how to play the game of life. This is what I'm here to discuss today. How we can engage consciously to be the co-creator of our own experience. And for me, this is where we take back our power. We're no longer in that victim state of being carried by life, unable to effect any significant change. And it's stepping out of linear experience of life, where we're often operating from a very limited sense of self. Once we understand that we are a unique aspect of this one consciousness, the question that occurs to me is, what am I going to do with that awareness, and what am I going to create from that space as a powerful co-creator of my experience, knowing that everything comes from me, my unique expression of source energy. And it's either coming from me, I'm creating it unconsciously, or I am in my presence, in my power, in my sovereign state, and I am choosing what it is I create, and therefore what it is possible to experience. And it's understanding very clearly that I am the one that is creating every aspect of my own personal experience in this life. And it's not to say that I don't interact with other people creating their experiences, but it's how I respond to that. And again, coming back to my truth as co-creator of my life, what do I do with that? Getting out of that reactivity in the way that we react to anything, whether it's our emotional reactions, whether it's choosing to react to something that's outside of us, or we're returning to our inner sovereign state of what do I wish to create. And that's in the very conscious response to anything that we experience in life. It's coming back to that power of I am, and I am a powerful creator. And it's what we can tune into in the space of our imagination. Imagination is creation, but also what it is we believe to be true. And again, that's a very unique experience. And that belief, core beliefs, belief systems can either be very limiting and keep us in a limited space of experience or a lack experience, or we can break through every conditioning, glass ceiling, and choose to believe that everything is possible. And everything that each of us either desires or is inspired to, drawn to, called to, is a potential to explore. And as you explore it, what we start to do is bring into awareness anything that is blocking us from that potential experience. One thing that came through very clearly was that we are each the 0 point of creation, not separate from consciousness. We are one with consciousness. We are each a unique expression of that consciousness, or that source energy, that creative energy. It became so anchored into my awareness that I am the 0 point of creation. If I choose to be. It's a little bit like flexing a muscle, because it's so easy to fall back into my habit of being and forgetting how powerful I am as a co-creator, as the 0 point of creation in my life experience. And every time I remember that, it's what do I choose to create? How do I choose to express myself? How do I choose to use the power of my words, my thoughts, my presence, giving myself permission to experience everything that I am feeling called to experience in this lifetime. Once you start to operate from this space of creativity through imagination, understanding how belief comes into play, either in a limiting or an expansive sense, Understanding that the power to create is in the ability to see potential and to work with presence, with consciousness, and that creativity that's happening in the 5D is where it all happens. Taking inspired action as part of that creative process. And that inspired action comes through that connection in the present moment, the ability to tune into what we're intuitively guided to, rather than trying to control the process and the detail and the how, and getting back into that rational, logical, linear, how does this happen? And that's bringing in of, our human limitation in our belief of how to achieve a goal or arrive at a certain destination. And again, it's being able to tune into that immense, unlimited potential, creative potential as the 0 point of creation, that unique expression, your soul expression of consciousness. Oh, got my mic in. And through that presence, very human presence in the 3D, it's taking the inspired action as we're tuning into our intuitive nudges, the synchronicities, the breadcrumbs, and allowing ourselves to be guided moment by moment. And there we have the creativity in the 3D, but also allowing for the unknown. So many times I felt guided towards something, expecting a certain outcome, only to find that there is more. There is always more. It's really funny, actually, because I had these two Yotam Ottolenghi, if I've said it right, sorry if I haven't, cookbooks on my kitchen shelf. And there were two next to each other, and it said, it's simple, there's plenty more. And I kept on looking at this signpost in my kitchen, reminded that what I can see, even in my sovereign state of presence and power as a co-creator, is still limited, and it's being able to let go, and that's that sweet spot of surrender and trust in the process, understanding that it's simple, there's always more. There's more to discover. And as we let go in that sense of still remaining in our power and being fully present in our creative imagination, our ability to create in that space, in that playing field of our imagination, we are tapping into unlimited potentials that we can only see a small fraction of. It's really exciting once we get into that space. But it also takes a lot of courage and a lot of presence and a lot of curiosity. And again, when we're in challenging situations, it's not always easy to let go and to trust. But it's remembering that we are powerful co-creators, and we always have the choice to engage in that way and to create from that space of what is it I wish to create as a powerful presence, co-creator of my own experience. So I'm going to leave you with that thought, and perhaps can tell me your experiences of your own creative endeavors, dreams, experiences. As you may see, I'm filming on location from the cool and calm of an air-conditioned apartment by the beach. It's absolutely wonderful. Escaping the heat. Anyway, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your comments, and look forward to seeing you in the next post.